Hi, my name's Leanne Benny. This is my video testimony for Dr. Jeff Kemp. I did write down a testimony, so I'm just going to read off that. Before I saw Dr. Kemp, I tried so many other things to try and recover, but nothing else was working. Dr. Kemp seemed to understand what was going on with my symptoms, and it made sense, and he knew what he was talking about. I would go forward a little bit and then completely backwards with the medical help I was receiving prior to Dr. Kemp. My allergy specialist told me that my last hope was to move up north and to see if it helped because I developed severe allergies. But in the meantime, I was just getting worse and feared for my life. Not only was I having bad reactions to my own environment, but I was having so many scary symptoms that no one could explain. I was tested for Lyme disease and the results came back positive. This did not surprise Dr. Kemp. My allergy specialist at the time said it made a lot of sense, but soon changed his tune once he spoke to another colleague that said do not get involved and warned him of the treatment these so-called Lyme doctors were using. This made me scared and skeptical of the treatments, which is often were large doses of antibiotics. When I went to see Dr. Kemp, I was gasping for air, getting scary chest pains. My motor skills were getting really bad and I was having trouble holding a knife and fork to feed myself and to do everyday things. I was dropping things continuously. I could hardly walk and I was walking like I was on stilts. I had trouble getting up on my feet and I was dizzy and my vision was very blurry. I felt like I could hardly function. Dr. Kemp stressed to me that he feared for my life, and I did as well because a number of times I was really scared of how hard it was to breathe, etc., and what was happening to me. I had tried everything else and nothing was working. The antibiotics I needed were not covered by Medicare or anything and were very expensive. We were struggling with money after already spending so much money on trying everything else. I lived 3.5 hours drive away from Dr. Kemp's clinic. I was really struggling with the traveling also. I told Dr. Kemp I couldn't, and he seemed deeply concerned for me and gave us some alternatives to see if that would help. For example, trying other chemists for prices with medication to see if it helped, and trying to find someone in the area to do IV for me so I didn't have to travel, which would help me and with some of the costs. I knew then that Dr. Kemp was very genuine in trying to help me. I tried to find someone in the area that would do the IV antibiotics. I had so much trouble. As soon as they found out it was Lyme, they backed out. My own GP, even though she believed I had Lyme and that it was Lyme, said that she couldn't do it. I finally found someone 45 minutes drive away from home, and my husband had to take 2 afternoons off a week to take me, which was so hard. We also borrowed money for the medication. Dr. Kemp was very happy when I told him over the phone that I was finally able to get started with treatment. After about the 5th IV treatment, I'd picked up so much. My motor skills were improving and kept on improving as we went on. We were so happy and grateful. I was still having problems, but could walk again and do more for myself and was no longer gasping for air. Dr. Kemp understood that our funds were tight and helped thinking of cheaper alternatives for treatment. I had phone appointments which would save money on cost of travelling, and Dr. Kemp also suggested other medications he knew would work to help me and get me right. When I was ready to move, he made phone calls to some other Lyme literate doctors to help me find treatment to where I was moving. I was very grateful for the help Dr. Kemp had given me. He got my treatment started and helped me along so much. I would hate to think what would have happened if I hadn't have got his help or the treatment. At the time, Dr. Kemp was our closest Lyme literate doctor, and that was 3.5 hours away. Physically and financially, that was hard. There was no way I could have seen myself being able to travel further, and definitely not overseas. I know a lot of Lyme patients who travel even further than me, and they had nowhere else to go for Lyme disease treatment. So yeah, if it wasn't for Dr. Kemp, I highly believe I would not be here today, and I would not be where I am now. Compared to where I was very, very unwell and very sick, and my symptoms were extremely scary. And I'm very grateful for what he's done.